Hey guys. Well, I don't have a shoulder left. Trust me. Now, I've already told you guys, to be honest, it's as much trouble as it ever was. But it's not the joint, I told you, it's this muscle in here. And oh my God. Believe me, a day of spraying, wow. Jeez. Anyway, but everything except for the conference table has been sanded, dyed, and a heavy coat of sanding sealer on it. We're now going to scuff them and glaze them and start to finish. But I know everybody out there, you know, when you're scuffing, typically you're going to take a piece of 320. The Rhino pads from Industrial Abrasives, the best there is. And you get on here and you start scuffing. Works great. Well, back in the back is a 14-foot tiger maple. There's the 8-foot. I've already scuffed it and glazed it. It's ready for finish. And then right here we've got a 14-foot cherry, and Ashton and Devin, my grandkids, who I'd have never made it without them, they're doing the edges on one of the round ones. And I'm doing a little scuffing. But I'm not going to tell you, I'm just like my sanding technique you saw last week. I heard about that. Positive. But then there was a few, are you serious? Yeah, I was serious. I mean, Jeff's right here, not a swirl anywhere. Flat, level, and well, common sense. Now, remember, we've got 13 pedestals over in the spray booth. All dyed, sand and sealed. When we get done with these tables, we could be moving over there. Hadn't been any grass growing under our butts. But, well, Charles Neal scuffing, big tables. Now, I know it's almost impossible for you to see, and with this shoulder I can't tilt it up, but one of the things in particular with Tiger Maple, now you got to remember, these things have been sanded, trace coated, sanded, and then a water-based dye put on them. It doesn't matter. You can raise the grain, which the trace coat does, until you're blue in the face. But the minute you put that dye on there, you go get some grain raising and swelling. and the fiber in it's going to come up. Now everybody, for the most part, you can take something like a Scotch-Brite or a piece of 600 and lightly wipe over your die, but you got to be really careful because you can cut the color off in a heartbeat. I don't bother. Now again, I've got a good heavy coat of sand and sealer. Now, normally I do not use sand and sealer because basically with water-based, well, any of them, I really don't have to. But in this case, and I know I've told you, that conversion varnish, well, it's a little tough. And I'll be honest, this is general finish. This sand and sealer's pretty tough too. Now, sand and sealer is designed to be a lot easier to sand as a first coat. But I'm telling you, this stuff's tough. But if you're using a solvent base, no matter what you do, remember, one coat will soften the other one. And you can go through and do this, but pretty much no matter what you do, you know, you can come away with that top just slick as glass. Now, again, an exception would be a post-catalyzed product like a salt conversion varnish. You're going to see that grain shrink back. Water-based does not do that. So what you see is what you get. But in particular, like this curly cherry, we saw some, but on this tiger maple, the curl in it is so much softer. So, man, it's just sucking up the sanding sealer. But, and not to say you can't get on there with a rhino pad and, you know, sand it out, but with the random orbit, again, it's going to make it just as slick and flat, and the sanding sealer is filling in the curl. Yes, you got, and I'm using 320, you got to be careful, very careful, not sand through. However, it's almost inevitable, a little bit. But that's also the reason we glaze. And again, a glaze is putting a dye or stain over top of your first coat of finish. And in just a minute, you'll see. It makes it look, it just makes it so much deeper, your color, and if you get a little sand through or something, it disappears. See any shiny spots? At this in a second. I got a little spot right here. I don't know what it is. It raised up. I sanded it flat, and I went through the color. Glaze, gone. You know, you don't do this for 50 years and not learn a little something along the way. I mean, the number of times, like I am now, I've been in a situation where, well, let's just put it like this. There's been numerous occasions that the glue and the finish dried going down the road. Hey, it worked. I remember one time I had 8 of my chairs to build. Now, we're talking scoop seats, bent, well, you've seen them. I had 8 of them. And we didn't start on them till 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and the people were going to be there at 8 the next morning. I kid you not. Now I had Ed and a couple other, and Sherry and a couple others. When they got there, we had to load them carefully. Hey, had bills to pay. That's a fact. I ain't gonna tell you how I did it, but I used a radial arm saw to scoop them. And you've seen me do it with the grinder and stuff. And I was literally sitting on the stool, and I literally had sawdust up over my lap. I kid you not. But the funny part was, 8 chairs. Now, 2 of them were armchairs. Well, when the people get there, they looking kind of funny. Said, well, we only ordered 6. I looked at Sherry. I was not happy. Luckily, they bought the other 2. Ooh. I didn't see anybody for 2 days. Again, I apologize, you can't see this, but as I go over it, it's acting, the sheen is acting like a trace coat. And I can see, you know, like where I make the first pass, I can see the top of it. The sheen is gone, but you can see the curl, it's not. Now, one of the keys to this is, now you don't have to use a pneumatic, but make sure you got a good clean flat pad and keep it flat and moving. Just like using got a little thin spot right here. Most people would just freak out. What you're basically doing is creating a foundation. And the nice thing about water base is, unlike the solvent, like I told you, it's not going to move. You know, it's just like building a building. Once you pour a concrete footer, it's not going to move. Okay. Now, grab a blow tool, please. Now, on these edges, I'm just wiping. Be very careful of your edges and corners. Now, once we get the first coat of conversion varnish on, we will do the exact same thing. I'll scuff it with the random orbit. Now that said, you'll notice that I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 tables, 5 tables in here set up to spray, or will be shortly. Common sense says I'm going to have a little bit of overspray, but it'll be the first coat of finish. When it gets to the final coat, I'll probably spray the big cherry table that you'll see in a minute, the one over here and the one in the back, because they're far enough. Now, I'll probably take these over to the finish building, because this closer proximity, again, overspray. But I also know that I'm going to be, scuffing them and shooting them a final time. Now, the final shoot, I will add an extender in solvent. It's called retarder, to slow the dry. Y'all ready to wipe? Now, where's the gun? Glazing. Yeah, normally we use a stain pad and glazing. Normally we use a stain pad and all that stuff. Nah. Good wet coat. Now, unlike if I was dyeing raw wood, I don't have to get in a crazy super hurry. Matter of fact, I want to take my time just a little bit and let it bite in to that sanding sealer a little bit. And then my granddaughter's upset with me. She don't have her makeup on, and she's a girl, and she's not dressed to be on a camera. And she's been giving me the dickens about it. So do you want me to wipe this so you don't have to get on camera? You'll do it? Then get to it. Rock and roll. Now, as they wipe this off and you see it wet, that's what it's going to look like when the first coat of finish goes on. Again, dye is going to dry with nothing. No sheen, no nothing. It's just color. You just kind of lightly wipe it and let it soak in, and then you come back with a dry cloth and or paper towel, and don't forget to wipe your edges. Now, I didn't spray the edges. We just take the wet paper towel and wipe around them.
That's water based.
That's water based. Yeah, this is General Finishes dye. This is my New England. This is what is it? 2 light brown and 1 orange.
Even though it's a water base, it still bites into the sanding seal.
Right. Mm-hmm. Well, you can see. Okay, you see right here? Wipe it straight again.
Here.
Now, one of my tricks, actually, I see it, hold on. Take a roll of paper towels. And use it just like a squeegee. Wipe with the grain. You basically wipe it to dry. And up here where I had the light spot, it's gone. Now, I don't know if you can see in the camera, it'll dry back a little faster. But again, as you saw, when it's wet, it's gorgeous. And that's it. Now, you realize you're watching this in real time. That's how long it took. Okay, we're going to let it clear out in here just a little bit and get some fans going, and then we're going to go to the big cherry one. That, well, I've got half of it done, so it won't take too long. What do you think, Jeff?
Oh, it looks really nice. Looks nice. Nice and smooth.
Let me get over here. Do what?
No, it looks nice and smooth. Nice
Yeah.
color. Glaze really adds more depth to it, too.
But the amount of work that's gotten done since the last time.
Yeah. I mean, you're really moving along. I guess I should come over and I'll give you a little help to speed things up.
Yeah. Well, when I go to put the final on, I very well may call you. Okay.
Yeah, it looks nice.
Now, in order to spray this, you got to get a little creative because you can't get the edge. You can't undercut. Come on.
Where you want to set it up now?
Buckets, yeah, come on. Now, if you don't open all your general finish cans, they've got a nice plastic ring on the top. You ready? Here, give me one.
That one don't have a handle.
Okay, well, that ain't fun. Give me one with a handle. I can't lift. I can't lift and. Okay, let's go.
Here, you want me to lift it?
I got it.
Oh, yeah, put yours in.
Where?
Just get it under.
Okay. All right, Dad, go ahead.
Oh, you can't. I forget. You'll be all right. Sit down.
I can cut under. Good enough. Okay. We'll get another camera angle and we'll take a look at the cherry. Good. Is it pretty good? What you're looking for is no shiny spots. Simple. Okay, you see right here, for whatever reason, and you got the camera on? Okay, can you see right here there's a scratch? In reality, that's not a scratch. It just looks like it. Feel it, Jeff. It's high.
Yeah.
What happened? Now, you see me use that big buffer. But this is where it went through the Performance, and and again, as I've explained, it doesn't matter if it's a planer knife or a sanding grit, it can cause compression. And the trace coat, it didn't come out, it didn't raise up, but now that the dye's on it, there it is. But that nice heavy sand and sealer, can we see it good? Hasta la vista, baby. Gone. Okay, Jeff brought his Festool sander up, and it's the low profile. I don't remember the model number, but it's the newer low profile, very comparable to the Merca. And I tried it, and it did great. And I was going to film it and show it to you, but Jim Pell was here, and I told you Jim had brought some of his Festool sanders up, and so when he was here, I said, you know, we really don't need these, so he took his back. Unfortunately, Jeff's sander was stacked in a pile. So yesterday, Jim calls me, he says, do you have a Festool sander? And I said, no. He said, well, somehow I got an extra one, and I knew what happened. But anyway, now again, I'm using the Merca here, and the 6-inch, hey, now I was using the 5-inch, but the 6-inch is even better. The bigger the pad, the flatter and leveler it's going to cut. Now, what would I do if I did have a scratch and not a raise? Well, to be honest, at this stage, I would go down and get it out, glaze it to get my color back, and then I'd probably just put a little sanding sealer over it, let that dry an hour or so, and scuff it again, and touch up the glaze and go. As a matter of fact, I got a little bit right here. Can you see how light I got? Now, I am going to tell you this. An oil-based stain is, as a glaze, works, but not near as well, because just like right here where I've gotten light, it's just not going to, the oil itself is going to try to seal off, and it's not going to color in near as well. Now, will I have to put some more sanding sealer on that? Actually, no. Now, once we glaze it, it's going to dry down duller because it's going to soak in a little more, but the color will be fine, and the first coat of finish is going to take care of it. Just move on. Okay. Let's get this glazed, and we'll go to cherry. I can see that scratch still a little bit. Gone.
see it.
Do what?
You can't see that white area
No, it's gone.
or the sand through over here.
No, not at all.
Fine.
Neat, huh?
Yeah.
Like I said, the majority
Done it a
of,
few times.
the majority of what I've learned is getting out of trouble. Because I'm really good at getting in it. But you know, it's wood. And, you know, no matter, now, again, you see right here, you can see where right now it looks a little different. That's because the wood has absorbed the dye. But, here, give me that. But again, when it's wet, it's what it's going to look like when you finish it. And that's where people just freak out. I mean, they just get all, oh my God, you know. You're like, yeah. And one guy honestly emailed me and he said, but I'm probably going to trash a piece of sandpaper if I'm sanding on wet. Well, then don't. You know, you're like, I mean, that's kind of like the saw stop. Well, you know, yeah, but if I pop a cartridge, I'm going to have to buy another one. Okay. A $70 cartridge or whatever. Okay, let it dry. Now. Okay, Devin. Okay, nothing different except Devin sanding. And I'll be honest, these aren't going to get shot till in the morning. One of the things with the conversion varnish, you've only got a 6 to 8 hour pot life. And I want to get the pedestals done and caught up. And the kids, well, that's what you are. Hey, don't look at me like that, boy. I changed your diapers. And I got other stories that I could tell, and you know what they are. So you just stand over and behave. Huh? Oh, it was funny. When it's time to change the diaper, butt up, butt down. As soon as he could talk, he'd say, butt up, granddaddy, butt down. When you're old enough to grow a beard, you really don't need your grandfather telling that stuff to you.
I don't care. I got kids of my own.
Yeah, he said he didn't care, he got kids of his own. And this one. Anyway.
My grandkids, you let go of them and they flip over and take off.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of like a stray dog.
You got squirmers.
Anyway, so this is going to be the exact same thing. You know, we're going to finish scuffing it, and then we're going to glaze it. Then we're going to do the big tiger maple one, and off to the pedestals. And so in the morning, and it's not going to hurt for everything to be good and dry. So in the morning, we can start shooting. Now, the other thing with the conversion varnish is within an hour, hour and a half at max, you can scuff it, go again. I told you, one of the places this came from was to be able to complete, and the sanding sealer, they'll tell you an hour, hour and a half. I mean, now I'll let this dry overnight because I want it good and hard, because I want everything down tight and stay in there. You know, Devin, since we're going to wait till in the morning, it wouldn't hurt to put some sand and sealer on that edge right there, just a little bit where we went through, just to make sure it's sealed down. Anyway, but you get the point. And I mean, again, you know, this is something that, you know, I know most of you aren't going to be into this, something of this magnitude, but hey, it doesn't matter if you're doing 6 or 7 tables and ever how many pedestals or whatever you're doing, the technique's the same. But again, I hope you can understand what these techniques have done to be able to get through this mass of material this quick. I mean, within a week, we've gone from unsanded to ready for the final finish on them. That's pretty good. I don't care who you are. Jeff, I'm sorry about your sander.
That's all right.
I got one over here. You got to push it a lot.
Made out of wood.
Yeah, yeah. And I got some strips. I can make you a whole bunch more. Okay, let's get it done. Guys, now, next week, we're going to have some other stuff going on, and we'll bring you along with that. And hopefully, we'll have you finished tables to see if they're still here. But we still got the conference table to do. But we got to get all of this done out of here because there's nowhere to set it up.
4 of those.
Huh?
It's almost like 4.
Yeah, it's almost like 4 of these together. And, oh yeah, it's a beast. Now I could, each one the second, now this is too long to get in the spray booth, plus those, it's across the way here. I don't know how we get it over there. It would take at least 4 or 5, it would be best, it would take at least 6 people to carry this over there. And then you can only do 1, so hey, it ain't going over there. We're going to finish it in here the best we can, and game over. Give them a call and say, bring the truck. Come get it now. Okay, I'll see you next week.